Okay, it is October 2nd, Friday. The week has ended, and let's take a look and see what happened in the market today. All right, the leaderboard, let's start with XTNT, XTNT Medical Holdings. Let me see if there's news in this. Closing of debt restructuring. Looking at medical debt, blah, blah, blah. Well, whatever it was, they moved it. And on the daily, you can see here, you draw your line from here down to here, and then you draw a line here. So we'll put this at the 75 level. So you can see this on the daily. This had a huge spike, came back, another spike, came back, another spike. This doesn't hold though. Look at this. It comes back every time, but it does hold the 75 level. And today was 133 million. So, this is a typical small cap stock that pumps. It'll pump up. A lot of times it doesn't hold. Sometimes they'll run. Sometimes they'll run from here to like $5, $10. So you just look at the personality of the stock. So, again, though, pre-market is the move. Like news came out, whatever news wasn't news. Pre-market was the move here. Early morning, what is this? 4 a.m. No one's trading at 4 a.m. I don't trade till after 7 at least. I try to go 7 to 8. I mean, if to set up 7 and I'm watching it, maybe. But, okay, let's look at it. So you had to move up here, came back down, broke above this 125 level and shot up, broke the high of the day right there at, what's this, like 135 or 139-ish. This is the 5-minute. I'll trade between the 3, 5, and 10-minute. I don't like to go below 3-minute. Too much noise, 1, 2-minute, throws you off. You don't need that many candles to look at. Make it simpler on your chart. I had the 1320. Don't even need VWAP. VWAP's overrated. As long as your 13 is above your 20, look at this. See this when this came down? This was a fake out move. It has to cross over or bend here. Then you know it's a sell. So we have the 150 here, and this was the big open candle. Then 150, formed like a split between the high and low here. It's like a spinning doji, a huge spinning doji. This came back to low 142. And then this bounced all the way up to 2, came back down to 150, then bounced to 225. So, you have the line here, that 150 line, and came back. On this too, if you're playing for this bounce, but watch to see if it's going up here. And this came back again. See the low getting higher on this one, 175. So you could probably play in between here, like the 160 mark. And then this took off. And see on here too, the move is done. If you're playing this for the break of the open, the move went from here to here. It's done. Look at the length of the screen here, length of the chart. When you put in these red candles on these tops, and it came back, and faded. Typical small cap. And see, you're not getting these moves or the moves here at the open, and then it's going, up. The move's happening pre-market. For all longs, it's pre-market, and pretty much short is the afternoon. Unless we get, a strong market where we're going to have sustainable moves, small caps, which they don't happen that often anyway. So that's what we have on that. So you can see here again, there's the 5-minute, the 10-minute. Then move up here to 150, came back, put in a wick here, came back over 175. There's the daily. So again, you had your points here. After 7 for me, it's easy to see this move up here. Excuse me. So dry. 125, you got to put out a line here at order 125. And then we fade it. So 12 million float, about 13 million on Finbiz, 12 million on Trade Ideas. And, there you have it. So great volume today. It's not that difficult. It's just a matter of what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. You're playing this long, you're playing this short. You know the setups. The mornings, the setups for longs. It's that simple. And, it's going to be a short like that on some of these stocks. Yeah, right. Nothing. And NNOX. This is the daily. This had this wedge down. See this wedge? Came out of it. Didn't do nothing. Came all the way back, and then we came up today. And see, this too. I put this in my videos too, how this was oversold. Stochastic. See this down here? Very oversold. You're going to get a bounce. It's just a matter of when. And today was the big move. This is NNOX imaging. Now, pre-market, this one's a little bit tougher. You have a lot of chop here, 31. This came all the way back to 29. Then we bounced. Anytime there's a wick like this, you want to wait a little bit after because it's too much range here. It's taking out 29, like 31, $2. Then this came all the way up. And then back down to 30. Look at this. This is today's open, right at 30. You have 1, 2, like 3 wicks here. So there's the 30 mark. Held nicely. This came back down to 29.40. And we shot up to 34. Pull back again, another lower high, 32. Then we took off. So, there's a lot going on here to the long side. Very nice long game today. Wait for a setup. The pre-market in this too wasn't great volume. And tough to get in. Maybe if you're playing this 30 line. And that's the other thing too. If you're playing the pre-market 30 and you get all the way up here to maybe 33, like like $2 gain, then this comes all the way down. You might want to take profit here. So you're playing this short range here, and then look what happened. It takes off later. So that's the thing if you play pre-market or you don't play pre-market. Now, XTNT, this move was lower. You could see it moving higher. Came back again higher. A little bit different setup. And this is a higher price stock. So on this, the move here, and it came back hard to that today's open at 30. Now, if you're at that 30 line, where did this get down to? 30, 29, 37. Yeah, probably would have stopped out. What's that? What's that, 63 maybe? So again, it's just preference. Then here it took off, so. Still a great long. Here's another one, WWR, Westwater Resources. And here's another different chart. This is like lower. This is like range, 275 to 3, range. And the open with the 3. Took off 325, 375, 4, held the 379 and took off all the way high as 550 plus. Very smooth candles. This is easy to read. And every chart's different too. You're going to have, some charts are going to be, more up and down as far as the candles, as far as, range and what kind of chart it is. So this was pretty nice. Over 3. That 3 line, you could play maybe 275 stop. Because there's nothing here. You had it here. And then took off, dip, then we took off. All right, so that was a nice move. IDT, not much to go in here pre-market. 325, and this took off all the way to 1025. It's a $2 gain. Now on these, when you see what's this, like 2,000, there's nothing pre-market. It's very tough to get in this. There's not enough volume. So you're gonna have to wait on this to the open. Once you see this back and forth, See these tails come back, come back. That 850 line was a pretty good line. So pick your lines, just pick the chart and look at what it's doing. Exactly what it's doing. CBAT, pretty smooth all the way up. HMHC, 225. Yes, this guy got as high as 250. CTIC. Said to move right here. And there's today's open. Here's draw your line. This is a little just, over this trend line, 240. Took off all the way to 320 plus. Then, came back pretty hard. So there's strong momentum. And that's always going to be between, your open, could be even more. The main trading time, of course, is 9:30 to about 11. That's the biggest momentum, volatility. And after that, 11 to 2, you're going to have like your midday action, slow, choppy, and then 2 to 4, your late day moves. SLDB, this is coming back after a strong fade. 350, got as high as 475. Moving after hours, not a bad long. LAC. Did the move down here. Came all the way up to 1250. And this moved to 15. So look at this from here, 9:30, 11. Another great move. Now on this one, a little bit tougher. You can put your line in here. Once this one up here, this is like 1240. You can play the higher line or lower line. This came back to that 1225 line nicely. And then we got to the 1250 line. So there's the 1250 line. And we took off to 15. So that's a really good gain. It's over 2+ gain. ENLV. 875. It's got to 1062. Not a bad move here then. See this little dip here? A little triangle, another triangle. VVPR has been very hot on the daily. Look at this. The lows, every time it bounced back to this trend line. See this? The lows climbing up today. Just really strong move to the long side. Once this got to 10, moved higher to 1050. Little dips back here to there's the quarter line. Then takes off. This takes off later in the day too. This has done this many times in the past. There you go. Not a bad move. We're getting a lot of moves too. After 11, either getting dips or just straight down, or after 11, these stocks are moving to that long side. ADMA. Here is D now. This is look this up. What is D now? Petroleum, chemical processing, refinery. So here's your big wedge. Look at this. This thing came from 950 down to below 450 to 427. Big candle today. I mean, this is a massive wedge. This is getting killed. I guess oil, oil and gas equipment. And today they finally broke it up. And if you get a chart like this, it's very easy to read. Look at this. See these lines very clean to the long side, 445, 50, 50 cent plus gain. You can really get a big size in that when you see that. This has great potential long here. Oil has been getting crushed, so This looks like a double bottom now. If you go here to here, it looks like a double bottom. So that's something to keep watch. GDOT moving late. 53, 59 plus. LED higher priced. Lithium motors really took off. $23 gain. BBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. 1925 as high as 2075. 1825 to 2075. Not a bad move there. Pure momentum again in the beginning. If you catch a move in the beginning, you have great chance for further getting in the beginning. Great move from the beginning, you'll get the bigger of the move in the throughout the day, because that's the main move from 9:30 to 11. You can get other moves later in the day, you get the break and midday moves, but the volatility is so strong. Going down the list here. All right, let's take a look at the SPY. So the Dow Jones finished minus 134, S&P minus 32, 36, NASDAQ minus 251, small caps plus 892, VIX plus 093, 2763. Commodities, gold 1905, silver 2390, crude 37, dropped 4.4%. So crude is not doing good at all. That's what I'm about. So here you can see again, the wedge. We went into the wedge bouncing. We bounced all the way above that 50-day. Then we had the news Trump has coronavirus, but he's pretty much okay, it looks like, for now. So we dropped below this candle here, usually a bullish candle. So it's up in the air now. The stimulus, we could easily, if get no stimulus, we could drop down hard. But we would drop down to probably this 200-day. So it's everything's up in the air right now. So there's your S&P. Either we're going to break up above that 50 or crash hard if we get no news, probably this one. NASDAQ. There's the 50. You're hugging it right now just above. You're getting oversold on stochastics. So the move on this too. If you drop hard on other bad news, or we could break up with stimulus news and other news. There's the Dow Jones too. This is right out at these moving averages. 28,000 is above. There's your 100-day. Trying to bend a little bit. So we'll see what happens with that too. Excuse me. Same scenario on that. Here's the VIX. There's your 50-day, 50-day. There's your 200. We're back and forth, like I said. So we're in between. We touched it, came back. Looks like it wants to come up. So looks like volatility is going to be here. And there's the UVXY moving up a little bit. This has been steady, moving on stochastic. So we will see what happens with that. All right, so other moves we were looking at. TUP. TUP is a swing idea, very oversold. Channel up. Every move's been bought up, bought up. Trend line, we're at that trend line. If you change open versus close, this is green, but I have it on net change. I think net change is referring to, it's like the previous candle high, or I forget exactly what it means. Open versus close is the open versus close, I think on the day on the candle. That's why the other one was green. This is red. This is net change. So a lot of professionals use net change. It shows a different color. So we can see here we are holding 20, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Hasn't done this till now. We're oversold, crossed over stochastics, very oversold still. This is the watch for a long up. You know, target, 23, 24, 25 plus maybe on top. SWBI, Smith & Wesson looking very strong here. We're at 54. Stochastics is moving ahead of more of the move than the actually moved. This doesn't even move that much, and you're getting a big stochastics move. So it's just still stacked sideways, stacked. And this is looking good next week, very bullish long. You're playing 20 to 80 on stochastics. So here's a move up and then a fade it. So we'll see on that. Looks pretty good though. Cruise lines. Yeah, this is full bullish. Like we said, play oversold to overbought. And we're about halfway through this move. And the move came all the way back and up. It looks like that 13 level is very important. So I was trying to break that 13. But you can see here on these swing ideas, see from low to high, low to high, low to high. It doesn't have to complete the full cycle. Low to high, right here, low to high. So you can see here, we're at that 50. Usually that's the halfway point. Clearly white over red. So this is the break over that 13 level. But that's looking very good there. So that's cup. RCL, let me see, AC inch. And this is Norwegian. You can see right here. There's the bottom. Look at this. Crossover right here. This was the candle. Very fine. You have to notice these things. And then next day, look at this. We went up. It's in CLH. Here's CCL. Wedge out. It'll move down, up, back down. 38.57 stochastics. This has room to the upside still. Because if you're playing full cycle, 1, 2, this hit 3 times. This didn't. 4, 5. So you have room to the upside there. So here's ALK, Alaskan Air Group. Airlines oversold here. And this is not bad to the upside. We get some good news. If we get stimulus news and it passes, that's going to send the market up. Maybe 500 to 1,000, who knows. There's HA, back and forth, back and forth. And then, this is a chance to go up too. On them. When, like we said before, look at this 70 line. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8. Over 8 times is held. Very oversold, bounce, nothing, back and forth. At a 23 on stochastics. Again, playing this one. This didn't go all the way up, but you can see the move. You can see the move here. Like if you're watching this, oh, it's going up, it's going up. And there's the red candle. Came back down. And then this did a second, like back and forth and up. Wasn't a straight up. But you can see that on, each individual move here. So this came back down, went up. Back down, went up here. Again here. And on the move here, see this? And then it moved up. This did a full cycle and then came back down and moved up again. and the stochastics was lower as a divergence. So you can play on that, or then play in again, or just play, maybe draw a trend line there and see where you're at. So we're at a 70 here. This is good to the long side for potential on that. And here is AM Antero Midstream Corporation. Talked about this one being very oversold too. Bounce here, did a fake out, came back. Oil's getting very oversold. Maybe we get a bounce. And so if we get stimulus news, that's going to bounce. But oil's just in the gutter right now. So there's FE channel play. Let's look at some other plays. Here's ODT coming out of this wedge down, trying to break up. What else we got here? Lumber liquidators, still not great volume, trying to come up now. Just did a move here, to move here. See this divergence, and we're higher. But the move wasn't that good. JMIA. Yeah, this is trying to come up, curving a little bit. Hasn't really moved from 7 to 8. I mean, it's a $1 move. Stochastics is showing like a bigger move, but it hasn't really moved that much. OPK, nice move, 3 to 4. It's a $1 move on this. It's very big. Some other moves here. Rocket Mortgage. And here's another one. Excuse me. Wedge right here. Wedge. And there it is. It came out right at 20. And then today, not a big move, but we're crossing over. Look at the volume higher. And this was another good long on Rocket Mortgage. Tough to get in this pre-market. Very choppy here. Problem with these two, some of these, they put in very high moves. See this? Very high. This took out 225, like a huge 50-cent move, this candle. And then back and forth we went, 21.75. Then we went up. Got a trend line right here. Tougher to get in some of these, but on the daily you can see this is a great potential long. Now, where's the target in this? Tough to say, maybe 24-ish. We'll look first. And then maybe at 26 level. Let's go to Rocket. Trying to see some other plays here. Let me see if I have my watch list. Here's MRO. So you can see here wide. See this in tight. This is a chance. It's a falling wedge. It's going to break out. If oil comes out, there's something good with news or something. This will help oil. This will really explode up. I'll watch that. Oxy. There's Oxy right here. Oxy's in a wedge too. It's at an 11 right here. So, I mean, this is a good chance to break out too. Oil It's creeping down 37. Cisco, PCG, sideways move. Yeah, rig's really getting oversold here. MU going straight down. Sale. WPX. A lot of these oil plays look like this. They're like forming wedges. This is Schlumberger. You can see this has been in a downtrend. This was at, going back, at least 100. You can see there's a few years. This is way down here. This looks like it wants to do a double bottom like this. Looks like a inverse coupling handle going this way and down, and then it's going to bounce. So am I bullish oil? No. I mean, in the long run, yes, oil is just not going to go nowhere. So you can see this is not a falling wedge, see this tight wedge. Or you want to make it like this. So, oil's like 37. Oil is in a tailspin. You're not getting nothing with airlines, crews, people using a lot of their gas and stuff, using their cars. Everyone's home still. So, that's where we have on oil. But it is getting oversold. That's what I mean to this point. You can see it had to move up April. This is very, back and forth till June. There was the big move June. Let's get head and shoulders. Head, and this is the shoulder. Now we're back down. Now we're getting oversold again. This is that last little move. 2130. And it went as low as 1447. So very oversold here. Has a chance for a move up. Same thing, APA. You see APA Apache. This is another wedge. See how tight this wedge is? Draw a line here, divergence. And see this from the high to low. It looks like each time it's going to bounce. So eventually this bounces. Devon Energy. NBL, same type of chart. You can see right here, very tight wedge, and this wants to come out of it, very oversold. See, it's like building up steam here at the bottom. Eventually, we're going to have news. This is going to snap up. I don't know how big, but your chances to keep shorting this or to the short side is not good. I would, look to the long side pretty soon here. There's KSS, Coles Corp, big candle here. We called this oversold, and it's going to move. And it was a nice move today. You can see this one too. Some of these charts are not that hard to read. Buy, sell. This one's a little bit tougher. Then it went up, buy, right here, oversold, 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 oversold. And this is still oversold. This is at 1640. This has good chance to the long side. Unless you're in a downtrend, you know, these moves right here, a lot of these stocks, oil's sort of a down, but this is like sideways, sideways. It's not a downtrend, it's more of a channel, if anything. This is VIAC, Viacom getting very oversold. Tree moving up. X. EQR. Big volume today. AMTD. What else is on the list here? Amrin. Look at this move. Very easy chart on this one. Look at this. Although that could have been a cross, maybe move up, but I had to confirm. There's your cross. It's like a V, the total bottom here, and then one up. Draw your line, and then it's one up right there. Jets. This is airlines ETF. This is a nice little gap here. OSTK, that was a big, nice candle. Usually, you know, sort of an inside candle, went back. Still to the long side here, but there's a fake out. Wasn't a continue. BE drop down. You know, ConocoPhillips back and forth, back and forth. Needs to break out of that. This is Valero Energy, very oversold here. Draw your line down here. And this is stochastic. See this back and forth, 1, 2, it's like a triangle forming. If you draw a line down here, see this on stochastics? And you draw a line right here, you can see this is making a move high. The high keeps getting lower, lower. Eventually it's gonna break through there. So oil's not gonna stay down like this. Here's OVV. Draw a line down here. There's your line there. And this is forming very oversold too. Draw your line here. Looks like a wedge here. XOP oversold. So all oil's oversold pretty much. All these oil stocks. Baker Hughes, this is another one. This is really dropped down. Remember I wrote I liked Mer Long. I thought it was going to break out, but then oil really took a tumble. You can see here, trying to draw the lines, make a wedge. See this wide, the tight, the tight. Yeah, it's forming a little bit of divergency. Move here slightly higher, move here. Now, I don't know how we're going to come up. There has to be good news. Yeah, it's a long drop here. A lot of these oil stocks have dropped from like 15. This little move here is like 50% drop. So you know, it's good to the long side. I just don't know when they're going to break up, like a sustained breakup, at least like this. I mean, back in April, this was a move from like 6 to 16. It's a $10 move. If I had like 10 grand, yeah, 10 grand just in that, when that moved, that's 16,000 in about 2 months. PDD is forming a massive wedge here. This could break up. Look how oversold this is. Draw this line. Look at this line. And right here, look at this. This wants to come out of this. It's a tight triangle. Can only get down so much before an explosion up. All right, so that's it for today. The market too. Top gainers, you know, had about 89%, 90, XTXT, not the greatest gainers. Small caps still leading the way. Today, a little more of higher price stocks. I see a lot of 20, 50, you know, 200, 25, 10, 15 with some pennies mixed in. So it's been a mix in the market. You know, some bearish ETFs, SQQQ. It's very oversold here. This could bounce back up. The market, you know, doesn't come back to life there. TQQQ. And this one too. You see this made a move from here to here, drop back. Now what are we going to do? We're oversold, overbought, I mean, and we can come back down. So a lot of this right now, this weekend, if we get stimulus news, the market's going to rock it up. If we don't, I think we drop back down pretty hard. So that's the move on these. So we'll see what happens this weekend, but it's going to mean a lot to if we get any good news with stimulus and all the other crazy news that we have. All right, that's it. Please subscribe and like the channel, and we will be back for more. Peace.